All right, here we go. We are live. Thought I'd start a few minutes early because I got back a little bit quicker than I anticipated. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. And if you watched the video I did 2 days ago, you probably at least know what I paid for this book. I did not reveal what the book is. I've been finding a lot of these lately. I got another deal that I made and saved myself a bunch of money considering what they wanted to sell it for. Trying to show people that deals are always out there, especially if you try and make them. Don't sit there and wait for a deal to happen. Sometimes you got to make it happen, and you'd be amazed at how many times it works. I want to remind people, while I'm waiting for people to come into the live chat, and we've gotten Corey Knight here and Silver Age Surfer Comics, both of you welcome. Do not forget that tomorrow, this time tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be doing my live comic book auction. You still have the opportunity to make an offer on any of the books from the sneak preview of the video I did a couple of days ago before the auction. So if you see one of the comics and you want to make an offer on it, you can have the ability to potentially purchase that comic before the auction so you can get the price that you're looking for and not have anybody else outbid you or end up buying it beforehand. 2 of the 12 books have been sold, and the last comic I show in that video, I'm actually going to be cutting the price in half because somebody mentioned, because I couldn't find any sales or anything listed for that particular book on eBay. I was basing it on higher numbered books that didn't have any significance. I based the price on those, but somebody told me there was another website that showed a couple that were about half of what I was trying to sell it for. Now, I asked the person, you know, how many years ago or when was the time these were sold, because that is a factor, and they never got back to me. So I'm going to give that person the benefit of the doubt, and the last comic, I'm actually going to take half of what I was originally looking for, because, you know, I want to be fair. So if you look at my AI art, I thought I'd do something a little funny this time. We got a little, what would happen if Superman went to the donut shop a couple of days too often. So if you want to leave a little comment of what you thought about my AI art, please, by all means, in the comments section. Let's hear your comments about them. And if you look on the bottom of that, you'll see a whole bunch of different comics like Wonder Woman #1, Showcase #4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, First Print, etc., etc. These are all major key books I've never owned in my life and would love to acquire one via a trade. So if you happen to have one of these books or know somebody that does and would like to do a trade, by all means, please contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com, and let's show the world out there in the comic book community that you can acquire things that you've always wanted without having to have money in your pocket to do it. So with that being said, I had about a month ago, I had about 1/10 of a Bitcoin. I'm down to 100th of a Bitcoin at this point because I'm a firm believer in when you see record highs, that's the time, in my opinion, to at least sell some of them and try and acquire something that might be in lesser value, so that will continue to go up. So you're basically making some profit and taking that profit and investing it in something that can get you even more profit and continue to build on a small dollar amount and build it up. So I actually, to get the deal I did yesterday and the deal I made today, well, I got today, I sold some of my Bitcoins because I felt it was worth it for these to invest in. Whether you do things like that, I leave it up to you. But I didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Bitcoins. I wish I did. But I had enough to be able to sell a couple, make some profit off of what I originally paid for them, which wasn't a big difference from the highs. I think I paid, like, for most of them, probably in the $45,000 to $55,000 range at the time I started investing in Bitcoin again. But there was a point where it dropped down. I bought some at 22, but I sold some of those. But anyway, it's good to have investments, and when something reaches its peak or close to its peak, because there'll always be some dips before, even if it goes ballistic up. So the idea is you sell them at certain points, either wait and see if there's a dip in that particular thing that you're investing in, and take your chances, or reinvest that money into something else that's lower than what you think it's going to be, so you can just bring it to that next level. So that's how you could take a small amount of money and turn it into something bigger without really having to do anything. And even though, like I said, I've been unemployed since October, since 2002, I have been working for myself. I had my own businesses where I literally worked part-time since about 2002. So there's not much of a huge difference between what happens now and what was happening for the past decade or so plus. And I was able to afford a house and things like that. So, you know, I'm not one of those trust fund babies, but I worked hard for the things. The little money I did make, I would always put it into investments. And this is another one. I know there are a lot of people who say about print runs and everything, and you're free to think any way you want, but I don't go with other people's thoughts and opinions, even if they're right for them. I go with what's right with me. So whether you would buy this comic or not for the price I paid, you know, the good thing is I like those that will not pay the money that I pay for things, or will not buy the things I will buy, because that means I don't have to worry about being outbid by those people. So with that being said, let me put on the video camera, because I already see there are 10 people in here. Welcome to the 10 that are here. If you've never been to my channel before, come join the live chat, because I always do at the end of the video a surprise subscriber shout out. You don't have to be a subscriber, but if you want to hit subscribe, that's awesome. But I don't require somebody to be a subscriber to get the surprise, say it with me, surprise subscriber shout out. Say that 10 times fast. And you don't even have to hit the like button unless you want to. So here's the package. As always, I will unbox it live. I will tell you what I paid for it, the options that were there, the significance of the book, and then basically I'll ask your opinions on it. Now, the ironic part is, if you didn't see the video yesterday, and I bought this from the same person, I bought this X-Men 266, first quote-unquote full appearance of Gambit, for $426. It's probably between an 8.5 and a 9.4, signed by Andy Kubert, Joe Robenstein, Tom DeFalco, Chris Claremont, and Stan Lee. So 5 signatures for $426. And I posted, you know, how much would people pay for this book? I mean, I had people saying they'd pay $175 for the book. I mean, who wouldn't pay that? You could not get that book with just Stan Lee's signature for $175. So I understand that people want deals, but you also have to go with reality. I mean, who wouldn't want Action Comics #1 for $100? You're never going to get it. And if you do, well, then you found somebody that had no clue what they were doing. So when I say, how much would you pay? I'm talking realistically, not the wishful thinking, hoping that one day you'll find somebody that'll sell you something like I did with that Black Panther, the Fantastic 452, that somebody was willing to sell it for $69 plus tax. Those are few and far between, although they are out there. But when I ask, you know, what would you pay? I mean, we got to keep it real. I mean, who wouldn't spend $175 on that? But you're not getting it. And if that would have been listed for a buy it now, $175, probably 2 seconds after it was listed, it would have probably already been sold before I even saw it. All right, so as usual, they wrapped it up pretty good. We had some nice conversations with this seller. We actually did this off of eBay. That was their idea, not mine. And that was how I was able to get this at the price that I got it. So let's take a look at this. You can put in the comments section what you think it might be. If you've been watching my videos, you know, like I said, it's a book that I have multiple copies of. And to me, this is basically a no-brainer. And then I'll see what you guys would pay for it before I reveal the price. All right, so here is the book. It is a modern book. We have ourselves another New Mutants 98. It is not a newsstand, but you will notice some writing on the cover. Multiple pieces of writing. So let's go over. This book has 4 signatures. So this person, they were telling me they're getting out of the comic collecting business and they want to go into Pokemon and hockey cards. So they're selling all of their comics, and they said they were in love with getting comics signed and having signed memorabilia. So they were getting out of comics to get into this. So it worked out perfect for me because I continue to get into comics. So this is signed by, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, but it's Fabian Nicera or Nicisa. If anybody knows how to pronounce it, please do. So Fabian Nicisa, Tom DeFalco, Rob Liefeld, and the great late Stan Lee. Now, before I reveal what the price is, and I'm sure somebody will, if you put $175, sure, who wouldn't want to buy this? Now, this one's in better grade than the X-Men 266. It looks like it can easily be a 9.4 and up. Now, obviously, I'll have to take the whole book out and look at it and everything. But this is a high grade, so this isn't a 5.0 or a 5.5 or anything like that. This looks like we'll start just at 9.0 and up. Because, of course, it'll depend on if it needs a pressing or anything like that, if it has any pressable defects. Russell Hall, Wild Stallions, excellent. If you know what Wild Stallions, what movie that's from, post it in the live chat or in the comment section. So, like I said, you got Rob Liefeld, you've got Tom DeFalco, you've got Fabian Nicisa, and the late great Stan Lee. So 4 signatures on this book. So I'd like to know, either in the live chat if you're watching this live, or in the comment section if you're watching it later, if you have to pause it, a realistic price, not a wishful thinking. What would be the maximum you would have offered for this if you had the ability to do it? Now, of course, some people will say, well, I don't know about the signatures, so I wouldn't be comfortable, or I would, offer lower because of it. One of the things I always recommend is the easiest way to check signatures is go look on eBay or look in your own collection if you have signed books, especially ones that were witnessed, and compare them. Now, obviously, there's still no guarantee, because even if somebody's verifying these, if they didn't witness it, no one can be 100% guaranteed that somebody signed the book. But you can see regular patterns with an artist. And I've seen these signatures all before. Like, Stan Lee's placement is usually spot on. It's usually in the center. If that's not available, he puts it in a spot where, it's going to stand out. So, Rob Liefeld, there's his chicken scratch. And again, I'm 98% positive that this book has the signatures legit. The good thing is, because I send 4 books a month to PGX with the deal I have with them, I can get this pressed, dry cleaned, graded with signature verification. So, to me, for a high grade, minimum 9.0, probably between 9.4 and 9.6. I don't think it'd get a 9.8, but, I'm never good at grading higher books anyway. So we got a couple of people ranging between 500 and 850. So this person, who I dealt with before, had it was an auction and a buy it now. He had the auction at $450 and a buy it now at $1,200. Now, unless that's a 9.8 or a 9.6, $1,200 is going to be too expensive. Even with the movie, even if it ends up being good. Now, that could be something years down the line. Again, it's going to really depend on the grade. But the fact that I can get this and verify the signatures, all 4 of them for free. I mean, obviously I have to pay the shipping to bring the books there and back. I said to the person, you have it listed at $450, which means as soon as somebody would have made a bid, that $1,200 is no longer an option, or the buy it now is no longer an option. And I had a feeling that this book, especially with it being hot and how people, do things on eBay, I knew this book was going to not stay at $450 and was probably going to go in the 800 plus range that a lot of people said they would pay. So I contacted the person who I already made the deal with, had nice conversations with, and I said, I will offer you, would you take $600 to shut it down right now? So it's more than what the starting bid would be, so he doesn't have to worry about somebody just bidding once and only selling it for $450. And I was saving myself of seeing bidding wars for this book, because absolutely people would have bid on it, and it probably would have went past $600. So I felt around the middle ground would be worth it. So I literally saved $600 because they accepted it. Now, they originally didn't charge me for shipping, but they wanted to do it off eBay, which I was perfectly fine with. He actually gave me his phone number, so we exchanged texts and everything. And when I was sending him the address, I thought I verified the address, but I wrote the wrong number on one of the parts and didn't realize it. But luckily, this person, before they send them out, took pictures and said, "Is this the correct address?" And I looked it over. I'm like, "No, that's not correct," but it was my fault. He had to reprint the thing twice over because he was doing the printout where you can pay for it at your house to do the shipping, so you could print out your own label and then just drop it off at the post office. So he had to redo it twice, which I felt bad about, but because he was doing that, I threw in an extra $15 as a thank you to make up for the 2 times he just had to reprint it. I mean, it didn't cost him any extra money. It just inconvenienced him 2 pieces of paper and having to redo it because of me not checking it, well, not as thoroughly as I thought I did. But so the total came out to $615 because it was off eBay. There was no taxes. And like I said, it didn't even have to, he wasn't even charging me shipping, but I threw in an extra $15 for the little inconvenience of having to redo the label twice as my way of saying thank you. So I paid $615 for a high-grade New Mutants 98. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Stan Lee signature alone brings the value of a comic up between $100 and $150 just for that signature alone. Rob Liefeld is probably going to bring it up another $30 to $50 because remember, Rob Liefeld will not sign a book like this for free. He charges you. So you have to factor that in. Now, the other artists, I don't know if they charge. I know Stan Lee would charge anywhere from $100 to $150 for a signature. I think, in my opinion, for $615, I think that's a pretty fair price. And I'm sure they were happy because they had the starting bid at $450. And again, because it was a newly listed book, and we had the conversation the previous day, and we had a nice, polite, respectful, interesting conversation, they let me know that this was just listed. So if it would have been 10 minutes later, probably somebody would have placed a bid at $450, and now that buy it now option is no longer on the table. Could it have gone to $1,200? Who knows these days, especially when you're talking a hot book. Many people out there that don't really know how to invest outside of emotion would have probably started a bidding war. And Russell Hall says Stan Lee's signature goes for $200 nowadays. So there you go. And that's why I thought it was funny that somebody the other day said they'd pay $175 for this book. I'm like, you couldn't even just get Stan Lee's signature on there for $175 for a key book. I mean, there are Stan Lee signed books that are just a generic comic that doesn't have any value in it other than the Stan Lee signature, and they're sold for at least $150. This is first appearance, quote unquote, first full appearance of Gambit. This is the first appearance of Deadpool. So to have Stan Lee sign a key book is just going to increase its value because remember, as many people will say, well, it's a high print run. Well, how many Stan Lee signatures are on these books? Because you cannot get one more added to it because he's no longer in this realm of existence. So when people say things like, oh, New Mutants 98's too much of a high print run, and I'll state over and over again, the print run of New Mutants 298 is between 225,000 and 250,000. Okay? How many New Mutant 98s do you think have 4 signatures on it, including Stan Lee? Not many. Maybe 100 total, if that. You know, I'm sure there's plenty with Stan Lee's signature. There might be plenty with Stan Lee and Rob Liefeld. But how many of them do you think are out there that have 4 different signatures on it? So I can take what some may see as a common book as far as print run's concerned, and then get rarer versions like the newsstand variants, like the Mark Jewelers variants, and books like this, because this might even be rarer than a Mark Jewelers variant. Because again, with Stan Lee's signature alone, the man is deceased. You cannot get any more of them. So how many of those might get lost in the process, might get stolen or destroyed? You know, how many floods can ruin people's collections, and people with improper storage damage the books and the grade ends up lower or the case gets cracked. So I am trying to get people to reevaluate their decisions and choices about how they invest, and not always listen to those who, like I say, may have the best of intentions and may 100% believe that they are correct. Because I've heard many different channels talk about New Mutants 98 not being a rare book. Rarity has nothing to do with demand. Remember during the, let's just say, let's go Scooby-Doo, remember the Rovid days? How many people were spending thousands of dollars on a 24-pack of toilet paper? People do not understand that when something is in demand, people will pay the nose through it. And even when they got to the point where they were making enough toilet paper for everybody to get it, you realize there were no discounts anymore. You notice before the whole Rovid situation, you'd always see like different stores doing like instant savings and coupons for toilet paper, but yet that whole time not one coupon was probably, or not one of those were on sale, and people were still buying multiples of them even though they were paying more than what the regular full price was. So I want people to reevaluate how they collect. And to me, selling some of my Bitcoins, which at the time was, I think it was like 66,000 they were at, to invest in this book at 600, I will now be able to not only have the profit that I made, the little bit of profit I made from the Bitcoins, but take that profit, turn it into something that absolutely, and once I get this graded, let's say it comes back a 9.4 and all the signatures are authenticated, do you think I would not be able to sell it for way more than $600? Especially if the Deadpool Wolverine movie does like what people are thinking it's going to do? It would be a no-brainer. So, again, those that say, oh, I'd never pay that price, I'm actually very happy for those people, because then I don't have to worry about somebody else coming along and buying it. So they had it listed at $450 with a $1,200 buy it now option. If one person would have bid, that buy it now is no longer an option. So if I would have waited, somebody absolutely would have bid $450. If you saw this auction and the starting bid was $450, type in the word 1 in the live chat if you would have placed a bid at $450, provided you had the money. Obviously, if you didn't have the money, it wouldn't matter what it is. But how many of you right now in the live chat, and you can also put it in the comments section later if you watch it live, if you saw this New Mutants 98 in high grade, at least a 9.0, probably much higher than that, with 4 signatures, including Stan Lee, the starting bid was $450, how many of you would have placed a bid? I promise you, anybody that had the money that saw that would absolutely have done it. So that would have taken it off the table. So for me to offer $600, that's $150 higher than the minimum bid. So the seller probably thought, all right, maybe they bought it for cover price and they went and got these signed themselves. I don't know the whole backstory of his history of these books. We didn't get into that kind of depth in the conversation. But let's say he paid cover price. And let's say he spent maybe $100 on the signatures, if that. So for him, $600 is a big amount of profit. He didn't have to worry about only one person placing $450 bid. and end up losing $150. But he was also taking the chance, well, what if people did a bidding war and it went past the 600? So I didn't want to offer him 450. I wanted to be where something where they said, all right, this is worth taking the chance on. So Agent Smith says he wants to show this. He wants to see the signatures. So I'll show you. Like I said, I have many of these people's signatures. I always verify, and I know that without a shadow of a doubt, these are legit. So there's the Rob Liefeld chicken scratch. If you've ever seen Rob Liefeld's autograph, you know it. Fabian one I've seen before. His kind of looks like, you know, street art. Like if somebody's doing like spray can graffiti art. He's kind of got that look. The other one is Tom DeFalco, which I don't really know his signature, but I have. Let's compare it to the other one. So here's my X-Men 266. Here's Tom DeFalco's signature on the X-Men 266. So take a look at it. And here it is on this one. They look pretty similar. Now, of course, these were obviously, well, most likely done at different times, but even if they weren't, you know, how many of you had to sign multiple things? Your signature is not going to be exactly the same every time. And then, of course, right above the other, you got Stan Lee with his slanted S, his slanted T. It's always on an angle. He never writes it straight across. It's always on an upward angle. He tends to sign things in the middle of the book. Just like the other one, I could say I'm 98% sure that these signatures are legit. But again, for me, I could save probably about $50 just in signature verification fees, if not more, because of the deal I have with PGX. So for me, this was a no-brainer deal. But as usual, I'd love to know what you think. If you want to leave a comment, if you watch this later on, or if you want to make a last-minute sentence on the live chat, please do. I'm about to do the surprise subscriber shout-out. Before I do, I want to remind people tomorrow is my live comic book auction. I have currently 10 books that are for sale for the live auction. There were 12, but 2 people already made offers, and I accepted them. So 2 books are no longer for sale. One of them is a New Mutants 98 that is no longer for sale, and the House of Secrets 92 was probably a half hour after I did the preview video days ago. Somebody made an offer, and I accepted it. And you can do that too. So I did a video a couple of days ago, the sneak preview or sneak peek of all the comics I'm going to be doing in the auction. So this way, my power viewers and ultra power viewers that watch my videos, you have the opportunity to make an offer on any of those comics before the auction. And if I accept it, you don't have to wait for the auction to potentially be outbid or have somebody else come along and buy it. Please go check out that video. You still have until tomorrow at 4 p.m. to make an offer on any of the comics before the auction starts. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Probably 98% of the sales I have on my auctions are either before or after the auction. The majority of my sales tend to be after the auction. I'll sell maybe 1 or 2 during the live auction itself. The rest are either before or after. So take advantage of it if you can. If you are interested in buying some key comics. And like I said, I do a sneak preview video, so it shows all of the books days before an auction actually happens. Sometimes about a week before. And you could make an offer, and if it's something that I'll accept, you don't have to worry about somebody else taking it. You don't have to worry about, you know, somebody outbidding you or getting into a bidding war and paying more than you would have if you would have just made an offer. Keep in mind, any book that's $599 or more, you can do a 4-month payment plan with no interest. So hopefully you'll be able to check that out. And if you know anybody that likes buying comics, send them my way to my auction tomorrow. Please share it. It helps because, like I said, this helps me pay some bills, helps me fix my car. Well, it's not really needing to be fixed. It's just the brakes need, you know, you have to replace the brakes every now and then. Otherwise, you end up like Fred Flintstone. And the rest goes to buying more comics so I can make videos that you guys love, because I've probably done more videos this year than probably all of last year combined. I think mainly the only videos I did last year were my sending out PGX books and receiving my books back. I think maybe there were 10 other videos about unboxings. So if you like this stuff, please. Agent says, what time? It's 4 p.m. tomorrow, so that's Sunday the 10th. At 4 p.m. and that's Eastern time. So right now it's 4:26, so I started this video about a half hour ago, which is typical for me. So it'll be about this time tomorrow. And if you send cash by either meeting me in person or you can mail it, because I have somebody that bought one of those 2 books that actually sent me cash. I haven't received it yet, but they're sending me cash. You get 5% off. Or you can meet me in person. I've had people do that where they meet me in person. You'll get a 5% discount off of your order, no matter how many books and no matter what the price is. And if you send me a money order, I'll throw in a free comic. So I make sure I always give people little bonuses for doing things like that. Obviously, you can use PayPal, you can use Venmo and Cash App, but the other 2 ways that I first mentioned, you'll get either a discount or a free comic with it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If you like the AI art, I thought I'd do something a little comical today. So if you like your plus-sized Superman, don't body shame. Just leave a comment. Let me know what you think, if you thought it was funny or not. If you got offended, I'm sorry. I'm not the type of person that's going to change because somebody got offended by a comical image. But if you are, hey, you have the right to be. If you want to thumb it down for that, by all means, have fun. If it makes you feel better, that's awesome. To all those that were kind enough to hit the like button, thank you so much. Let's do today's surprise subscriber shout out. We're going to go with... So this is your last chance to put something in the comments section. And it's not letting me scroll up. All right, there we go. We're going to go with Steve and Spock. And we're going to go with Nate Dog. Both of you are today's surprise subscriber shout-outs, which means that if you have a YouTube channel, you could post a link in the comment section once this video uploads to either a specific video of yours or to your YouTube channel. I'll leave that up to you. Keep in mind, it does not have to be a comic book channel, but since most people that come here like comics, I would assume so anyway, that would probably get the most views. But as long as it's, content for all ages, I have no problem with promoting it. I will not promote prank channels or anything like that would have to do anything even close to an OnlyFans account or anything like that. I'm not going to promote anything that's not suitable for all audiences. But if you have, sneaker reviews or you talk about newspaper articles, whatever, as long as it's something that's all viewable for all audiences, you could post a link to either your video or to your channel. I will promote it. If you don't make YouTube videos or you just rather do a link to one of your social networks, again, as long as it's not OnlyFans or something that's inappropriate, you can do that instead. Or if you sell anything on eBay, Etsy, Amazon, any of those places, and you'd like to try and see if you can get a potential customer by somebody clicking on your link, again, as long as it's suitable for all audiences, I have no problem promoting it. So if you sell video games, if you sell nutritional products, if you sell bow ties, or you sell old records, it doesn't matter. So I'll promote it and hopefully get you an extra subscriber or maybe a sale or 2. Keep in mind, any link that's placed will not be showing up in the comment section right away. It will go directly to spam. This prohibits anybody from trying to just randomly come onto my channel and place inappropriate links. And I don't want anybody to ever click on something that could take them somewhere they didn't want to be. So if you see a link in the comment section, it means I did verify it, I did approve it. So let's go support our fellow comic book community and give them a shout out, give them a like, give them a follow, or maybe check what they have to sell. So let's give our shout outs a shout out. Take the time and leave a comment after this is over. Let me know, would you have come close to this? Do you think it's a bad deal? Do you think it's a good deal? Again, even though this comic, New Mutants 98, has between 225,000 and 250,000 copies, I mean, put in the comment section, how many of them do you think have 4 signatures on it, and one of which includes Stan Lee? So it is going to be rarer So you can have something that's a high print run, but if you get a rarer version of it, that's going to be the ones that maintain and probably create more value. So I think it was worth selling a little bit of my Bitcoins at the high peak they were at to now get something else that I can end up increasing my profits even more. And who knows, maybe there's another dip in Bitcoin and it goes down to 40,000, and I could buy them back, add more Bitcoins to my to my investment, and later on watch it turn into something even more. So it's the way of investing the right way and changing your mindset and not going by what everybody else says. Go with what you think is going to work best for you. But like I say in the title of this, make things happen and stop waiting for them to happen. This deal would not have happened if I didn't put in the effort. And if I wasn't respectful and kind enough to have a conversation with the person, who's to say that person would have even cared enough to message me about this new listing of a book? Sometimes, going that extra mile and being courteous and genuine and friendly and having conversations, especially in the past couple of years, probably many people are missing the days of having conversations, especially with things they have in common. And you never know what people will do for you. Don't be disingenuous, but, go that extra mile. Sometimes they'll return the favor. And I think allowing me to get this book when they could have easily just said, no, I'm going to wait and see what money I can get for it, and probably would have been able to sell it for more than what I paid for it, and then deliver it quickly and verify the address to make sure it was correct and package it well. You go the extra mile. Those are the people you want to do business with. And I told the person, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I'll buy his entire collection, because he's got some great stuff. But I don't have many Bitcoins left. I have, like I said, about 100th of a Bitcoin at this point. So that's not a lot of money at this point. But, hey, who knows? Win the lottery tomorrow, I'll be getting a lot of books from this person, and probably from others as well. So I'm rambling. Some of you like it. Some of you like, shut the hell up already. So that's what I'm going to do. Thanks for watching. Give our shout-outs a shout-out. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it's not you. It is not I. It is We Love Comics. I'll see you next video. I'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, for my comic book auction. Take advantage of the opportunity that you can make an offer on one of the books before the auction starts. You have until tomorrow, until 4, to make me an offer on one of the books. Watch the video I did a couple of days ago about the sneak preview. Contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. Make an offer, and if I accept it, that book is yours.